Welcome back to Story at Novels. Now, one thing I will mention is that I don't really like movies or books that are overly violent. Brandon Sanderson leans a little bit heavy into the blood, guts, and gore. Then at the end of the story, it seemed to get a little gimmicky, kind of like Brandon Sanderson just wanted to be edgy, with Vin and her underclothes and things like that. I know what religion he is, and I know that he knows better.
Guilty.
I'm not saying that stories should not have harsh, realistic elements. That, in my opinion, is where the author should use his talent to present it in a way that is productive to the story and not just there for entertainment. Star Wars has the same problem with putting weird, bizarre, provocative elements in their movies for absolutely no good reason. In Mistborn, it didn't have any real purpose in the story or add any progress to the characters. It was just there to be edgy and to tempt the mind into dark places. It's unfortunate that he went there. I feel like it doesn't do him or the story the justice they deserve.
Don't listen to him, Anakin!
If you are watching my YouTube review at 2/3 of the way through the book, then you're gonna know that I had no idea where the story was going. Throughout the entire book, I always said that Kelsier was my favorite character. Notice that I said was, past tense, not because I don't like him anymore, just because he is no more. Kelsier is proactive. He has a driving motivation, capable and likable. It's really hard to get all of those traits at once in one character. And then he dies?
Surprise! Surprise!
What was Brandon Sanderson thinking? As far as I was concerned, the story ended right then and there. No more Kelsier, no more story. Because who really cares about Vin?
Who's gonna... Ah, shut up and tell her to get out!
I mean, come on, she was at best mediocrely interesting. But why is she not very interesting? This can be a really hard question unless you ask another question. And the other question is, what did she want? What is it that she is working towards?
I don't want to be a meter maid. I want to be a real cop.
Throughout the entire story, I couldn't have told you. That is one question that can make or break your characters. If your readers don't know what the character wants, then how are they supposed to root for them? How are they supposed to care about what they're doing in the story? There are a few things more satisfying than seeing a character progress towards a goal.
Hey, acupuncturist.
Well, we can't all be acupuncturists.
In fact, humans are so driven by this idea of progress that when it is used productively, you get astronauts going to the moon or Mars, hopefully. You get your technological advancements, computers, cell phones. You get the wonders of the world.
The bare necessities of life.
In fact, the reason that drugs are so addictive is that they make the brain release dopamine, which creates a feeling of reward, as if you had just accomplished something. So basically, it's creating an illusion of progress. I know, who thought that we'd be talking about drugs? The way they were chugging those heavy metals in the story, I was a little bit worried. Vin is the main character that we were supposed to care about and root for, but we have no clue what she wanted. I think Brandon Sanderson tried to compensate for this by giving her a pretty solid character arc. Her brother left her with a trust complex. By the end of the story, she has to decide if she's gonna trust her team and trust Kelsier. She goes from not trusting to trusting.
2 steps forward, 50 steps back.
Now, I would argue that authors don't even have to spell out exactly what a main character wants every single time. And this is where authors get very creative. For example, one of the things you can do, and you see this in Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, you don't know exactly what the protagonist wants, but the characters are so proactive that in every situation, they are driving the story forward.
To infinity and beyond!
And this is where she contrasted the most with Kelsier, who had a very clear goal. The Lord Ruler killed his wife, and he was going to have revenge or die trying.
If it's a fight they want, we'll be ready for...
Vin is dealing with her trust issues and just wants to disappear. It's counterproductive if you want your story to move forward to have your main character running the other direction.
Oh, that went well.
Now, I don't know what it is these days, but stories, I think more often than not, get the gender roles mixed up and turned completely around. I really enjoyed when Vin played the part of the lady in high society. She learns to do feminine things and finds out that she likes them.
I feel pretty.
Then that was it, as far as it went. It seems to be the only feminine thing that she did. The rest of the time, she's learning allomancy and beating up the bad guy.
I'm strong. Real strong.
Then she falls in love with a boy. I'm not even gonna call him a man. His name even sounds kind of like a woman. Ellen, maybe we'd girl it up a little bit. Ellendella. You know, like Cinderella, Elendella.
I'm a person, and my name is Anakin.
I'm sorry.
If you really think about it, the roles should have been reversed. Just imagine that Vin was a man, taking down the bad guys, learning allomancy, doing masculine things, and saving the girl, Elendella, right? He protects the woman, everything is in its proper place.
Sometimes the old ways are the best.
Not only do I not like stories where they pretend like there's no difference between men and women, but I think it's wrong. I believe that stories through books and entertainment define our culture. When we read a story, it's not just a story, it's a narrative that we participate in. We're putting ourselves in their shoes, learning what the characters are learning, and for better or worse, bringing those perspectives, that narrative, back with us into the real world. That's why storytelling is so powerful. If you do it right, you can literally reshape the reader's perspective. And for our own sakes, and to avoid the complete disintegration of traditional values, we need to portray gender roles accurately. A man has a God-given responsibility to provide and protect a woman. And we should be inspiring men to do that. On the other hand, women have a God-given responsibility to have and nurture children. But how many modern stories do you know that champion that? Or even have feminine qualities at all? I think it's kind of funny, actually, in modern stories, literature, they insist on having women save the day and beat up the bad guys. But they do it by having the woman act like a man. Explain to me how that makes sense.
You wouldn't have that problem with a V8.
So no matter what popular culture says, women need strong men to save them and to take care of them. It does two very important things. It makes the woman feel safe, which is what she wants and what she needs, and it makes the man a better man. By giving him a purpose and a responsibility, a man will always be better if he has a woman to protect and provide for. So don't mix those roles up. It's not fair to the characters in your story. It's not fair to yourself as the author. And it's not fair to the readers who will get weird, messed up ideas from it. That's your reprimand for the day.
Do you understand?
So I don't know. Do I want to read the other two Mistborn books and complete the series? Again, Kelsier is dead, and I held 2 funeral services, one for Kelsier and one for my motivation to keep reading. Until next time.